Hi, Simon here again. Thanks for coming back to my channel. This session's more for facilitators, really, of activities, and is based on the power of personalised music for people with dementia. The reason I'm doing this today is I've received a review unit of a Purple Angel MP3 player from Norm McNamara, who founded the Purple Angels scheme. A very jolly and decent chap. And basically what Purple Angel does is to raise awareness about dementia worldwide and to campaign for rights. But also one of their projects is to fund these MP3 players. So they're free units. What you can do is to email the person in charge of the project to request one for yourself, your friend or your relative. And if you let them know your favourite 25 or so songs, they'll preload it for you to use at your leisure. The other things that came in the kit were a pair of wired earphones and a pair of over-ear earphones. So I guess whichever is more comfortable for you, really. There's the wire to connect it to your computer if you wanted to download your own MP3s onto the player. And then it also came with some instructions. There aren't many because it's not needed, it's so easy. They ask for a donation if you do receive one, but otherwise they're free. And because mine was a review unit, it came with some pre-installed songs on there. So I think there's 26 songs, which actually are really good choices. A generic playlist for people aged between 55 and 70. So I highly recommend, if you have a person with dementia in your life, getting one of these for them and filling it with their favourite music, which is meaningful to them, to brighten their day and improve their quality of life. So we'll move on now to look at some of the benefits of music as a therapy for people with dementia. Here are the benefits of personalised music for people with dementia. Music has a unique ability to unlock the brain in ways that few other interventions can, often reaching individuals even after they've lost the ability to speak or recognise loved ones. Here are some quotes from renowned experts. Oliver Sacks, who's a neurologist, said, "Music can provide access, even when no medication can, to movement, to speech, to life. For them, music is not a luxury, but a necessity." He also said, "Music evokes emotion, and emotion can bring with it memory. It brings back the feeling of life when nothing else can." And Victor Hugo, the author, said, "Music expresses that which cannot be said and on which it is impossible to be silent." Hans Christian Andersen said, "Where words fail, music speaks." Here are some quotes from families and carers. "Music was magic in our dementia care life. It could calm, connect, and bring joy in ways words couldn't. Listening to and talking about the music gives us something we can do together. It revives old memories and helps me overcome my sadness. Rhythm might be your connection to your loved one after other connections have failed. Use it." And the why behind the music. retention of musicality. Musical aptitude and music appreciation are two of the last remaining abilities in people with Alzheimer's disease, said Linda McGuire, lead researcher. Deeper imprinting. Music imprints itself on the brain deeper than any other human experience, said the lead coalition. And personal connection. It's almost magical when you see someone with dementia being reached by a favourite tune. Everyone who receives a diagnosis should be told music can help, said Neil Utley of the Neil Utley Foundation. So here are my thoughts on music in dementia. Personalised music is best. It can reach depths of memory and emotion that generic music can't. Purple Angel MP3 Players are excellent for enabling access to this. Choose happy songs that stand out in memory because they're linked to good times. Try to avoid songs which are linked to sad life events. You could even have two playlists, one which is calming and soothing for the evening or rest times, and one which is energising and uplifting for get up and go times or meal times. Group sing-alongs are an excellent way to encourage group engagement and socialisation, especially if linked to movement and dance. A requests and dedications session can be great fun, people choosing a song and sharing why it's important to them or dedicating it to somebody special. And music can also be used to aid orientation. For example, playing songs of praise on Sunday or playlists for special days like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. And for calmer times, Classic FM Calm is a new channel which provides excellent mood music. I'd also like to add a strong note of caution here, and that is staff in care homes and other care settings should really try and avoid listening to music or playing music which is meaningful to them but not to their residents or clients. I always remember visiting my late great aunt Alma in a stroke unit, and next to her bed was a radio blaring out Radio 1 and pop songs that she would have hated. And while she was unconscious, they do say that hearing is one of the last things to go. So please caution against that. Now, one of my favourite CST activity sessions with my group was a Desert Island Discs session. And I'll explain how that worked and how we put it together now. So it's based on the BBC Radio 4 programme Desert Island Discs. And they produced this helpful but little form to fill in with your 8 favourite tracks of all time, your favourite book. You already get the Bible and the works of Shakespeare, and a luxury that you would take to the island with you or have available on the island when you're there. And then, out of the 8 tracks, you have to choose which one you'd save from the waves. So what we did was get our clients' care partners to complete this form a week in advance of our session and bring it back with them with a photograph that was meaningful to them and linked to the one song that they would save from the waves. So everyone came to the session with these completed forms. And within our group, all of the members, including helpers, staff, facilitators, were viewed as equal members of the group. So here is my Desert Island Discs form, and my standout track that I would save from the waves is Kate Bush's Cloud Busting. I won't go through my other songs, but they're all listed there if they're of any interest to you. The book I'd take with me is the Tales of the City anthology by Armistead Maupin, about a group of friends in San Francisco. I think there are about 10 books, so that would keep me going for a while. And my luxury item would be a wine fridge, which was never ending. And if possible, I'd also take a chef with me with an unending larder of vegetarian meals. Anyway, that's my Desert Island Discs. So as I said, my favourite song, the one I'd saved from the waves, is Kate Bush's Cloud Busting. And the photograph I bought in was of my father and I when I was younger, and he was still with us. And he was a great man, and very much loved by all of his 6 sons, and of course by his wife Eve. And there's a very special significance to that song about thinking about your father when it rains and then the sun coming out, and it's absolutely beautiful. The idea then is to have a session whereby everyone's tracks that they'd save from the waves are played out on the widescreen TV with lyric videos provided so that everyone can join in and have a good old sing-along. So that's really enjoyable, but the added benefit is that people tell their stories about what their photographs and songs mean to them. So it really helps the group connect with one another and have a better understanding of each other for the rest of the sessions and the times they meet together in the future. And then to help members remember that session, you could produce a wall-mounted collage of the songs, the photographs, and the luxury items. So that's just my photo and my luxury items and my book. So if you made a big poster like this and had everyone's on there, and it was permanently on display, it would be very meaningful. Now I'd also like to give a shout out to a good old sing-along movie, and most of the musicals now have a sing-along video that go with them, and here's the one for The Sound of Music. That's the real poster, by the way. So everyone joining in and watching that movie and singing those songs together can be such an uplifting activity and experience, and really good fun, especially if you stop at intervals to have a chat about the movie, memories of when you first watched it, what your favourite songs are, and so on and so forth. I'd also like to give a shout out to Dementia choirs. Here's one in Cardiff called the Forget Me Not Chorus. So this is a group of people with dementia coming together with their supporters and facilitators and singing and rehearsing songs together and then performing them to an audience, often to raise funds. Now, the joy for some people in joining a choir and singing together can be magnificent. And they say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And they also say that people with dementia find it very difficult to learn new things. But this is often a new activity that people with dementia really enjoy and get involved with and excel at. So look out for your local dementia choir. And now we come back to personalised music as a therapeutic activity or opportunity provided via Purple Angel MP3 Players. So here's Norm McNamara, and the Purple Angel Dementia campaign logo. He lives in Torbay and created the initiative to promote dementia awareness, reduce stigma, and provide free resources such as the MP3 players to those affected with dementia. Now, before we listen to and watch Norm's being interviewed about his Purple Angels MP3 Players initiative, I'd just like to note that whilst the MP3 players they send out for free are really good quality, they do only allow for about 25 tracks. So if you did want to invest in an MP3 player with more capacity, you could buy one for about 60 quid, maybe 100 at the most. And the benefit of doing so is you could also access then the radio and maybe videos on YouTube. So anyway, that's just a secondary thought. So let's hear what Norm has to say about his initiative.
Self live with dementia. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I live with Lewy bodies type dementia. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 6 years ago, and then I was told that it wasn't Alzheimer's at all, which I was really pleased, until in the next breath he turned around and said it's actually Lewy bodies dementia, which is obviously a different type, but there's many, many different types of dementia, and you've got to get the diagnosis right to treat the person.
Can you tell us how long ago did you start the Purple Angels?
The Purple Angel was created about 4.5 years ago, well, 5 years in November we started the Purple Angel, and as we stand now, we're now in 58 countries globally around the world, and we have over 900 ambassadors globally, and the ambassadors that we have their own teams. So I should imagine there's well over 2,000 or 3,000 actual Purple Angel volunteers worldwide. It's an incredible movement.
And a very exciting development is the personalised MP3 collections on iPods.
Yeah, it is. It's something that we're very excited about. We've had evidence. We've been working on these 4 years, so it's not something that we've just come along and done. And what we've decided to do is we personalise iPods for people with dementia. Anybody can come along and put a CD on and play music to them. What we do, we ask the family members or the carriers who know them best to pick 12 iconic songs that they absolutely adore, place them on the iPod, and we ask them to play that maybe 30 minutes before lunch, 30 minutes before evening meal, before bedtime, before bath time. And because the receptor in the brain is never affected by dementia, the one that receives the music signal, this is the reason why no matter what song that you hear, you can always remember where you were or what you were doing or how old you were. So we put all this onto an iPod or MP3 player. We pick certain songs what they love, and all the brain comes alight. So when the brain comes alight, they become more alert. And when they become more alert, they start to talk, and they start to sing, and you can see people come alive right in front of your eyes. You know, it's the most wonderful tool that we've ever used. Like I said, there is a science to it. It's not just a case of putting music on it. All the details are on the website, or you can contact me, and we will let you know all about the MP3 players. We've had evidence where we had one courier and one wife in floods of tears because her husband hadn't spoken for 3 months, and within an hour of listening to the music, he started to have a conversation with her. It's the most wondrous things, and I can't get across to everybody how magical this is. And people start to remember what they did, people start to sing along, and during the songs, you can say to them, what did you do when you were younger, or did you ever play a musical instrument? And they talk about it. But now it's helping people have meals. People who never drank before, or people who never had a regular meal. If you guide them into the dining room, they will go now with their iPods on, singing away, and they'll sit there munching away. It's the most wonderful thing. And the cost is minute, absolutely minute. And if we can help just one person, we've had so much feedback. Doesn't work for everybody. We're not saying that, but if we always say if it works for one, it's been worthwhile. Well, at the moment we're about 98%, and who doesn't like music?
And it's a non-medical intervention.
And it's a non-medical intervention. Our next step is having silent discos. what we want to do, is get 8 or 9 of them with their own personalised music, and they can all, with no music, but they're having a great time, even though they listen to different types of music. So, you know, the next step is silent discos, and why not? Why not? They deserve it. They deserve it.
Right on. I'll see you at the disco then,
You
Norman.
certainly will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we're going to look at a similar initiative in an American care home. I think this is where Norm got his idea from. But here's Henry, and he's a person with moderate to severe dementia who's been in a care setting for about 10 years and is quite closed in. And these videos coming up show the power of music reconnecting him with the world and with his memories.
When I first met him, he was very isolated.
When someone comes into a nursing home, they start to feel very disconnected from their lives, from who they've always been.
If you can imagine somebody who hasn't recognized their loved one in 5 or 6 years.
You know, I've been strong for 4 years. I just can't take it anymore.
So it seems tonight.
Music can do things which language can't.
When I learned that maybe more than 90% of a resident's time is spent idle, so let's try this and see what difference the iPods would make.
I have one resident that barely opened her eyes. She didn't respond. Nothing worked. It was amazing once we put the iPod on her. She started shaking her feet, getting all I'm seeing her all over again. I'm going to take the music for 1 second, okay? Just to ask you a few questions. Okay?
Yes or no questions.
What does music do to you?
Give me the feeling of love, romance. Figure right now the world need to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music in. Beautiful, oh, lovely. And I feel the band of love, dream.
Or music therapy with Alzheimer patients, something very powerful and primal is at work.
This iPod keeps me happy. It keeps me from crying. And when I'm upset, all I have to do is take out my music and it soothes my nerves and I go fast asleep.
And with an average cost of about $80, this is less than most people's daily medication costs. In terms of what difference it makes for the quality of life for an individual who's able to receive this is just immeasurable. So for me, I can't think of any greater value.
Don't forget me when you grow old. Remember me? Honestly, I don't remember who you are.
Now I wanted to show the more detailed video about Henry's story because importantly it shows us how we should link our music, personalised music as therapy, to the person's biography, their likes, their interests, especially their musical preferences and choices. So let's see a bit more about Henry's story.
I have one resident that barely opened her eyes. She didn't respond. As much as I tried, I knew her for 2 years. No matter what I tried, massage wouldn't work, nothing worked. But when we got introduced to the iPods and the family told me the things that she liked, it was amazing once we put the iPod on her. She started shaking her feet. She started moving her head. Her son was just amazed. Okay, can we stop? Because now I'm getting all I'm seeing her all over again.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa.
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm all right. Fine. Wait.
Who am I?
I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know.
Okay, it's Cherry.
How long has he been in the nursing home? Approximately 10 years. He was having seizures, and my mother couldn't handle him at home. Of course, it affected me greatly because he was always, fun-loving, singing, every occasion he would come out with a song, no matter where he was. I remember as a child, he used to walk us down the street, me and my brother, and he would stop and do Singing in the Rain. He would have us jumping and swinging around poles. He was, he was good. He was always into music, always loved singing, dancing.
His name is Henry Dreyer. And I'm looking more or less for religious music for him.
Okay.
Because he enjoys music and he always quoting the Bible. So I'd rather have that for him.
We first see Henry inert, maybe depressed, unresponsive, and almost unalive.
Henry.
Yeah?
Henry.
Yes, sir.
I found your music. You want your music now?
Up to you, okay.
Let's try your music, okay? And then you tell me if it's too loud or not.
Then he is given an iPod containing, we know, his favorite music. And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression. His eyes open wide. He starts to sing and to rock and to move his arms, and he's being animated by the music.
And he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
The philosopher Kant once called music the quickening art, and Henry is being quickened, he's being brought to life.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the music for 1 second, okay? Just to ask you a few questions. Okay? I'm going to give it back to you. Okay.
The effect of this doesn't stop, because when the headphones are taken off, Henry, normally mute and virtually unable to answer the simplest yes or no questions, is quite voluble.
Henry.
Yeah.
Do you like the iPod? Do you like the music you're hearing?
Yes.
Tell me about your music.
Well, I don't have one, I mean.
Do you like music?
Yeah, I'm crazy about music. You play beautiful music, beautiful sound. Beautiful.
Did you play music when you were? Did you like music when you were young?
Yes. I went to big dances and things.
What was your favorite music when you were young?
Well, I guess, Cab Calloway was my #1 band guy. I liked it.
What's your favorite Cab Calloway song?
Oh, I'll be home there for Christmas. Oh, you can count and plan on me with plenty of snow, mistletoe, present wrapped around your tree. Ow!
So in some sense, Henry is restored to himself. He has remembered who he is, and he's reacquired his identity for a while through the power of music.
What does music do to you?
It gives me the feeling of love, romance. Figure right now the world needs to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music here. Beautiful, oh, lovely. And I feel the band of love, the dream. The Lord came to me, made me holy. I'm a holy man. So he gave me this sound. I'll just say, I meet you. Let's see, Rosalie, won't you love me? Rosalie, won't to be sweet and kind.
With this beautiful new technology, you can have all the music which is significant for you in something as big as a matchbox or whatever. And I think this may be very, very important in helping to animate, organize, and bring a sense of identity back to people who are out of it. Otherwise, music will bring them back into it, into their own personhood, their own memories, their own autobiographies.
So as Henry says, music gives him the feeling of love and romance. And he figures, right now, what the world needs is to come into music. Couldn't agree with Henry more, and what we need to do is to help support people with dementia to access their own personalised music so that we can enhance their quality of life. So as the Purple Angels say, if all it takes is one song to create thousands of memories, can you imagine how many memories 20 songs plus on a Purple Angel MP3 player could create? Norm's email address is listed in that graphic below. It's Norm's, NORRMS @gmail.com. So just to finish, here's the web address for purpleangelsglobal.com. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I have putting it together. I'd just like to finish by thanking Norm's for all his good works, and hope that you've got some ideas here of how to increase access to personalised music for those with dementia that you care for. Also, just a reminder that if you like and use my work, you could buy me a coffee by scanning this QR code. Thanks for watching. See you next time.